Hey everybody, so I am making part 4. I know it's been a while. There's been a lot going on, a lot happening. And so I wanted to give you an update. So on Thanksgiving, my family brought me downstairs and I was having trouble breathing. I was having like chest pain and dizziness. I started to have this cough every time I felt like I couldn't breathe, and my heart would start like racing and beating super hard. I felt like I was not getting enough oxygen. And so I made an appointment with the cardiologist. I think it was like 3 days prior to my visit to the cardiologist. I was having a bit of a rough day. Jesus was comforting me, and I decided to get in the shower afterwards and just listen to worship music. So that's always very soothing for me. And I immediately knew something was off. And I told my daughter I was gonna get out of the shower. I told her it didn't feel right. I was having trouble breathing. I was nauseous. I was dizzy. I was lightheaded. By the time I was helped back to the bed and got in bed, it got worse. And I was just trying to listen to my daughter, because she was sharing a story with me. And so I was just listening to her, and as I was listening, I was like, and my daughter looked at me. She's like, "Mom, you don't sound good. You don't look good. What should I do?" And I'm like, "Call your grandma." Or yeah. So she called. My mom was a nurse, an RN for many years, and was going to school to become a nurse practitioner before she got to be able to actually go into being a nurse practitioner. She got ill, and so she had to stop working early. But so anyways, she called my mom, and my mom was like, "How's her O2 stats?" And they were low. They were. And she was like, "She should go to the hospital. Do you think your mom would go to the hospital?" My daughter took one look at me, and she's like, "No, I don't think Mom's gonna go." So my mom's like, "All right, well, I'm gonna get off the phone, and I'm gonna pray. I'm gonna pray." And so my mom got off the phone, and the not being able to breathe got worse. It got harder. I was making weird noises now. And the nausea got worse. And my mom called back, and my mom's like, how's Rachel doing? How's your mom doing?" "Not good." And then as soon as she said that, it felt like a big grown man, took and balled up his fist and just punched me right here in the middle of my chest, the point where I couldn't talk, I couldn't breathe. It was not good. And my daughter was like, Mom doesn't look good. Mom doesn't look good." And she saw me clutching my chest, and my mom's like, so she said, "Haley, can you ask Jesus if your mom needs to go to the hospital?" And so Haley was like, "Okay, hold on." And she looked at me again. I laid down, was under the blankets. I was coughing. I couldn't stop coughing since I had that. Right before I got that pain in the chest, I started coughing, and I couldn't stop. And it was like the pain was just so bad, so bad. And I had this weight on my chest, like it was being crushed. And my mom was like, "You know what? I'm just going to make a call. I'm just going to call it. I'm going to call the ambulance. Have them come get your mom. Because I can't, in case it's a heart attack." And so right before my mom called, they saw me give a thumbs up, raise my arm up. I'm like, I'm okay. And they're like, "What happened?" And what they didn't know was while I was going through that, and I couldn't even talk anymore because the pain was so bad, I felt like I couldn't even get a breath in. I couldn't talk. I cried out to Jesus in my noggin, in my heart, in my soul. And I was like, "Jesus, what's happening? What's happening to me right now? What's going on? Help me." I was like, "My mom wants me to go to the hospital." And he's like, "Well, I think it's time you should go." And I said, "Well, I don't want to go, Jesus. Don't make me go. Please don't make me go back. I said, you can heal me. I said, plus, and by the way, this next part, I was not thinking. I couldn't even breathe. I had the pain. So please, please, please don't come at me, guys. But I said, Jesus, please don't make me go. I said, last time I was there, it took them 10 hours to get a line in just for it to blow. I'm like, please. I was like, do you know what it's like to be a pincushion for 10 hours straight? Yeah, I was clearly not thinking, you guys. And I know that Jesus wanted me to go because the way he was saying it was like it's part of the plan type thing. And I'm like, please don't make me go. You know, you can heal me, please. And he was like, he just took a deep breath and sighed. He sighed and said, okay, all right. And he came over me, took the palm of his hand, placed it right here. And it was warm, it was glowing like gold light. And he said, now I want you to focus on me, nothing else. Look at me. And he says, when I take a deep breath in, you're going to breathe with me, okay? So you're going to take a nice, slow, deep breath in. He says, you ready? He says, okay. Now breathe. And I was breathing with him, but then my mind started to go in other directions. And he's like, nope. Remember what I said. Keep your mind on me. Focus on me. Keep your eyes on me and nothing else. You ready? We're going to breathe again. After a few seconds, I noticed I was breathing fine. I was no longer gasping for air and the pain in my chest was gone. The weight was gone. And he says, there, how's that? Much better? He says, can you breathe better now? And I said, yeah. I said, thank you so much. And he says, now, I want you to stay away from things that are stressful to you right now. And I want you to take it easy and rest, okay? And I said, okay, all right. And I filled my mom in, my daughter in on what happened. And they're like, wow, you are so blessed that he did that and that you did not have to go to the hospital. I said, yeah, he had mercy on me. And what none of us knew at the time was that Jesus had told my mom that it was time for me to go to the hospital. He told my daughter that. And none of us had communicated it till the very end. So that was interesting too. And my mom goes, wait a minute. You told him, do you know what it's like to be a pincushion for 10 hours? Are you serious, Rachel? Come on. Think about it. And I'm like, oh. I felt so bad. I was like, oh no. I'm like, no wonder he had mercy on me because he knows what it's like to hurt you guys. More than any of us could fully understand. And so, yeah. And I went to the cardiologist 3 days later. And I told him what had happened and how I've still been having issues with breathing here and there. This cough that when my heart gets all irritated, I cough. I get this weird cough with it. And he says, he was a nice doctor, by the way. Jesus said he had prepared his heart, prepared him, so everything would go well, which it did. But he said, I think you could possibly have a blood clot in your lung. And we need to go ahead and get a CAT scan done, which you'll have to have another central line put in because we have to do the stuff that they use during that to be able to see into all your little veins and everything, which I'm allergic to. So I have to get that done in the hospital, outpatient in the hospital. And he said to see if you have a blood clot in there, which would make sense because of the symptoms you're having, but we're not sure. And he said that we're going to have to hook you up to a heart monitor, and we're going to have to go from there and see if we have to close the hole in your heart. The heart monitor will tell whether you're going into AFib with your heart, which is not good, which could possibly be happening, and we'll go from there. So, yeah. And when I checked out, they forgot to hook me up to the heart monitor, so I went back in yesterday, which was Friday, and got hooked up, which has a monarch butterfly on it, which is something that Jesus shows me a lot. So it's special. I've had a lot of heart monitors throughout my life, but I've never had one with a monarch on it, so it's pretty cool. And I still have not gotten my test done. There's definitely been a lot of spiritual warfare going on with that. There's been problem after problem with the insurance, or putting in the wrong codes, or when I went to get this put on the other day, they thought that I had already gotten it done, and it said in my chart that it was done and it was fine, which I'm like, I didn't get that done. I definitely did not get that done. So that got fixed. So now they got to put it back into the insurance with the right codes this time for me to get that CT scan done of my lungs. So that's interesting. But you know what? It's not going to be man who heals me. It's going to be God, and it's going to be in His timing, when His healing of me reflects His glory. It's going to give Him the honor and the glory that He deserves in this. And that's just Him keeping His promise. And I've had to remind my family that this life is not my own. It's not, you guys. It's His. For more than just one reason. You know, I should have been gone a long time ago. When I died, I should have been gone a long time ago. And I always tell people, I'm on borrowed time. I shouldn't be here, but I am. And He's just upholding His promise to use all the pain and suffering I go through with my health for His honor and His glory. Allow me to watch my daughter grow up. And so He's keeping His promise. And I know that soon I will be healed of this, whether it's just the hole in my heart that's causing the issues because of the AFib, or if it's a blood clot, or both. But regardless, it will be done by my Abba, my Father God in heaven, Jesus Christ, the Holy Spirit, and through them. So, anyways, we'll see what happens for the testimony in the future. And I love you guys. And remember, no matter what life throws at you, seek Jesus. He'll help you through it. He'll give you peace through it. And choose joy and thankfulness in all circumstances. And joy is contagious, you guys. Anyways, I love you guys. And remember, Jesus Christ loves you the most. God bless you guys.